Hello, and welcome back to the land of the seven suns. um, it is time to feed the tank. There's the water. Over here is the salt. We feed the tank with salt, marine aquarium salt. And since not much has been going on, I thought I would just do a little bit of an update. The one Phalaenopsis that has been struggling for really years now to survive, I think has finally given up. It's over there in the big tank. There it is. Going for a swim. I think I'm watering a dead plant. I really do. Everything seems to have died. There's a couple of nubs that are alive, so I'm giving it water. It's not hard. Throw it in the tank every day, every other day. Take it out, let it dry, throw it back in the tank. But there's not much signs of life, so I think that I will have written it off and we'll just water a dead plant for a while. So, that is its fate. Down here, the chef flower, I believe it is, still lets the occasional leaf brown. I'm thinking about moving it out to the living room with the Dracaena and spider plant, airplane plant, whatever you want to call that. Just a different scenery. Maybe that'll help. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Not much going on with the fish. I did get that herd over there. I've been watching too many bison videos. Buffalo bison videos. I've got the school back in the cage. I did that last video. They're still in the cage. As far as I can tell, no fry yet, but at least the parents ain't eating everything. Well, they're not eating anything that makes its way out of the cage because they're hopefully stuck inside the cage. About the only other thing other than feeding the tank is over here. You might have just noticed this ugly pot with the little lucky bamboo in it. I don't know if it's necessarily bigger, but the taller one that used to live on the floor has been gifted like I promised it would 1,000 years ago. It had finally went. And the area looks so odd over here without the lucky bamboo that I just pulled the pot out. And this is the one that I'm going to grow on the channel. It's got a very ugly pot. Salt creep all over the outside. Yes, I know. I take the toothbrush to it now and then, but the water just comes from the tank. Maybe I'll rinse it off in the other tank, but I don't want salt in that tank. It doesn't seem to be affecting the plant, though. I'm sure the plant has roots now. It's got that new leaf coming out there. I think that's a brand new leaf. I think the other one was the last leaf coming out, and this is a new one. I don't know. I'd have to go back and check everything. I think it's got roots, or it should have roots by now, and it seems to be doing just fine. So that is that. And now I will take the salt over here carefully so I don't spill it. Plop the salt into the container. Okay, there we go. Find something to stir it with. Excuse the motion of the camera. Give it a stir with the handle of the toothbrush. My ugly table. I did some gluing for, I think it was my Bluetooth, and I glued some of the paper that was protecting the table to the table, so it didn't do a very good job of protecting it. But here we go. Stir, stir, stir. This, well, it started as 80-degree water because, you know, the fish, they get 80-degree water. So the plants get 80-degree water, which does not seem to be going over the bend of too hot. And it helps the salt dissolve. So there's those two reasons. I might get to all of them eventually. I remember one point I said I use 80-degree water for more reasons than I can discuss or will fit on a video, something along those lines. Well, every now and then you get one of those reasons. Yeah. So, here's my somewhere close to 80-degree water I just stirred all that salt into. I'm going to drizzle it into the tank, and the tank will be fed. The fish were already fed, now the tank will be fed. A little bit of benefit to the fish, a whole lot of benefit, I believe, to the plants. We'll rinse the cup out, drizzle it, rinse it out, drizzle it, rinse it out, drizzle it, and that's probably all that it really needs. But I'm native, and 4 is a sacred number, so we'll do it 4 times. 1 for each direction, even though I'm just going east to west. 4 times. And I do find, like with soda cans and stuff, you want to rinse those out so ants won't come. If you leave like a swallow of Coke, Pepsi, whatever it is you drink, if you leave that last little swallow in the container and then you rinse it out, you will see a lot of color the first time and a little bit of color maybe the second time. Third time you won't even really see any color at all, but you can do it 1 more time for good measure. You don't want any of that sugar water soda because it'll attract ants. A little bit of water in there is one thing. You don't want anything sugary in there or you'll get the ants. At least the ants we got little black ants. Love sugar. Oh boy. So, I have fed the tank. It will go on my registry. Not feeding that tank, although I will have plants. See Lucky Bamboo over there? It's doing good. This plant is still doing good. The blooms, of course, are getting old, but they don't appear to be done yet. Well, there's the blooms. So, there is a little update. The only other thing I did, because I don't really clean that filter. That'd be a lot of disturbance to the roots. I kind of hope that in front of that screen, because the screen's all clogged up now with debris and roots and the stem pushing against it, not a lot of water gets through there. So I'm hoping that that's an oxygen dead zone in that compartment. Water does get into it and then it flows out, but I'm hoping that it's kind of a dead zone for oxygen for that last bacteria that fish keepers don't really talk about. They get to the nitrates and then they say you need to do a water change. Well, that's because the bacteria, that third one that takes care of the nitrates, although I believe it does it very, very slowly, and it's the laziest of the nutrifying bacteria, but at whatever rate it does it without oxygen. It does not like oxygen. Well, your fish tank, you want loads of oxygen for the fish. This is why, if anything, people tend to take care of nitrates, yes, with their water change, but with their plants. That's a good way to suck nitrates out. I think a lot of people believe that plants prefer ammonia. That doesn't seem to jive well with nature. And I think they do just fine with nitrates. But that's a lot of my thoughts, my opinions. We know that this bacteria, if you can create a dead zone and grow it, that last bacteria, whatever its name, got Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter, you can get people to talk about those two, but I've never heard, I've seen it in type, but I don't want to try to pronounce it and pronounce it wrong. I've never heard it pronounced on like a YouTube channel or anywhere. But I'm kind of hoping that that's enough of a dead zone in there to get a few of those going and, maybe take care of some of the nitrates anyway. And then the plants can come in. And then I water plants. So I end up doing I don't do a traditional water change, but when I take water from the tank to water the plants, I have to put that water back. It ends up being a water change. So, that's how I do it. And that is the update. Until next time.